Apologise, but I think husband's computer was downloading something and my frame rate just went through the floor, so I've switched his PC off. Hopefully I'm not going to drop too many frames now. Yeah, rural Leicestershire, we have atrocious broadband, absolutely atrocious broadband, so I normally stream during the day because the chances are I'm going to get a better connection than if I try and do it in the evening and everybody's on their devices and whatnot. So we'll see how we get on. Right, so I've just folded my circle again into half and then into quarters, and again where these two folds meet I'm going to start stitching at this point on the same length of thread. I haven't cut my thread, I've just secured that petal, and now I'm going to do the next one. So here we go. So I'm just taking small stitches, about 1/8 of an inch long, just gathering this up. Struggling today though to pull my needles through. So like I say, I'm making these daffodils. You can see in the bottom of the stream there's an image of the original Spring Daffodils mini quilt that I made, and I'm recreating that now in morning Thawania. Have company for my sewing. Yeah, so I made that daffodil hanging a good few years ago now, and I'm making a new one because I need some spring cheer in the house. It's kind of miserable, grey in the UK at the moment, so I've just stitched all the way along that edge and then just gather it up to create another petal. There we go. So I'm going to pull this tight, and you can see we've got another petal formed there on that length of thread. I love making these. I make them into brooches, into hair clips, into vases, flowers. Just trying to see if I can see my chat window. So streaming business is all new to me. I'm kind of winging it at the moment. There we go, let's fold that there. So a bit of a false start this morning. I think husband's computer was downloading a load of stuff, so that messed up with my it messed up all my frame rate, and I still think we're struggling a little bit. Bear with me, I'm just opening up my channel so I can try and see what's going on there. So that's another circle, just folded into half, then into quarters, and again I am just going to stitch along this length here. Let's see if I can just pop out my chat window so I can see what's going on. I'm trying to get used to all these different bits of technology and whatnot. It's all fun and games. Just got to try and remember how to pop it out now. No, that's not it. Not that. Settings. Where is it? Pop out. There we go. Do you know, sometimes I just want to stitch. I just want to stitch. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm just stitching along this curved edge of the folded petal, and I'm going to do this 6 times, so I'll have 6 yellow petals on my daffodil. I apologise if you're looking at the top of my head for the whole time, but unfortunately I need to see what I'm doing. So I'm using I'm using a hand quilting thread because that's what I've got on hand. It's good and strong, it's going to hold these gathers. There's nothing worse than getting to the last one and it snapping the thread on you. Very frustrating. So there we go, that's that stitched along the bottom, and again we'll just gather that up now. Where I get that gather, I'm just going to take another little stitch just to anchor that fold. That should stop it from ungathering. There we go, so half a daffodil, half a daffodilly. And so I've made loads of these, and I make them in red fabrics for Christmas. You can do all sorts of things. Is quilting my job? No, quilting's not my job. My job first is to be wife and mother to 2 little people. But I am a stay-at-home mum, so I need to find something to do, and housework is not my jam. So I discovered patchwork and quilting, and it's what I do most of the day when the kids are out at school. I do occasionally mop the floor or hoover up, but no. I do work part-time in a quilt shop now as well. I work 2 days a week in my local quilt shop, so I do get to sew for a living, I suppose. Occasionally I will teach a class or two, but I'm not terribly confident, so I'm finding streaming is definitely more my bag. I can do this at home in the confines of my little room. What about you, Thawania? What do you do? Do you quilt? I'm trying to thread a needle on camera. There's fun. Yay, we did it. Let's try and get that last bit through. My hands do not want to behave today. I've had very little sleep for a couple of days now because I've had some shocking winds here in the UK, and yeah, not fun. So I'm getting no sleep at the minute. I feel like death warmed up, but not to worry. I haven't quilted since school. I don't think we ever did quilting in school. I remember making an apron once, and that's probably the first thing that really got me into sewing, actually, because we had this really funky faff machine and it had embroidery, so you could put your name on your apron, and I thought that was very cool. But no, I started quilting about 14 years ago, something like that. I used to work full time, and then I went back to university to study, trying to study computing. But I didn't realise that university is not really like having a full-time job. So whereas I left a full-time job and went to university full-time, actually it was about 12 hours a week. So I needed something to fill the time. So I actually started making cushions and blinds and things for our crappy little house. And when I ran out of fabric, I started cutting up the big bits into little bits to make quilts. And it just kind of went from there, really. Yeah, dressmaking. I've been trying to make clothes. I'm not doing so well on that, I have to say. Quilting, I can handle straight lines. I'm not doing so well at patterns, paper patterns. I think it's probably more to do with not taking measurements. I just kind of guess what size I am off the... Or perhaps I'm deluding myself that I want to be the size 12 on the packet, and I'm not. What kind of clothes have you made so far? Gather that one up there. There we go. So this one's fun. It's not really quilting, this project. You could do this with scraps from dressmaking, and they don't have to be realistic at all. You can make any colour petal you like. I imagine this would work quite nicely in some sort of silky fabrics. So we've got 5 petals now on my little daffodilly. Yeah, quilting doesn't take up much space when you first start. It just depends on how crazy you go. And this is the first time I've ever had my own room that I can dedicate to my stuff. But it's only a little room. It's only about 8 foot by 10 foot, but I've got everything I need in here. You don't have to have a sewing machine even to begin with. You could start sewing by hand, doing something like English paper piecing, where you use paper pieces and just wrap fabric around the templates to get the shapes accurate. I did that for many years, especially when my children were little, because I couldn't leave anything lying around. Got no space. And of course they take up whatever money you've got left at the end of the month, so English paper piecing is a really cool way to start. And again, you can use dressmaking scraps and all sorts for that. There really aren't any rules when it comes to quilting. You do what suits you. There we go, last petal now on this one. Let's pull that nice and tight. Just secure that fold again with a quick knot. So that should stop it from unravelling. So there we go, we've got 6 petals there. I'm just going to bring these two together now and just join those with a few little stitches, and that will be the first ring. of my first daffodil. And I'm not worrying about taking very neat stitches because I won't see any of this on the back. This will all be hidden. Yeah, I do use quilting patterns. I tend to write a lot of my own patterns now though, because I've been doing it for so long. I sort of, either I can look at a quilt and figure out how it's been made, or invariably I'm just rubbish at following instructions. So I always end up doing my own thing afterwards anyway. But yeah, there's no end of patterns out there. It all depends on the sort of thing you want to make. I don't make very many big quilts because I haven't got anywhere to put them. So I tend to make smaller things like bags or mini quilts, like this one. This is going to be a little mini quilt, because I can take them up and put them down and change the way the house looks quite quickly. So there we go, that's the first ring, my little daffodilly. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some orange to make a mini set of petals to sit inside this one, and then we'll join the two together. I don't know if you saw earlier, I did very quickly show the little mini quilt. Oh, if I bring it in again, stick it in front of the camera, you can see I've got like a large ring of yellow and then the little orange ones, and then finishing it with a button, or these ones here have got what we call a Suffolk puff or a yo-yo. So I'm going to do yo-yos today, I think, because they're quite straightforward. And I raided my button stash and I didn't have many orange buttons, so I might need to go button shopping as well. So I'm just going to trim that off now. I don't need that thread on the back. Let's take that off. I'll set him to one side and I'll do the same thing I've just done, but now with the orange circles. Yeah, that would be cool actually. I could put like bits of Velcro or something on the back of these instead and just change the flowers. That'd be awesome actually. So I've made poinsettias just like this, exactly the same way, just with red petals and a little inner ring of green or gold. I quite like Christmassy things because I can put beads and stuff on, bejazzle it. So I'm just going to tie a knot in the end of here. Let's make a start. I think I cut that thread a bit long. It's going to take me a while to pull it through. So again, this is dead easy, and of course you can just cut round. Just find a series of circular objects in the house to cut around. The big petals, the yellow petals, are about 3 inches across, and these little ones are about 2 inches across. They're a bit more fiddly, but it really doesn't take too long to whip them up. Like I say, you can wear these as brooches as well. I've made a little vase of flowers here on my desk just by hot gluing a bamboo skewer to the back of the daffodil, and then on the back of the daffodil, and I just covered it with a piece of felt and some hot glue again. Can't go wrong with hot glue. There we go. So that's the first one. Oh, sometimes I buy big fabrics. It depends if I love it. Then yes, sometimes I'll buy big pieces. Again, it all depends on your pattern. So if you're going to make a big quilt and you need big borders, and you tend to need to buy larger amounts of fabric, I tend to buy a lot of charm packs and things, like little packs with sort of 5-inch squares, because they give you a lot of variety in your work. But it all depends. Give it a go. Go buy a quilting magazine, have a flick through, see if there's anything that takes your fancy, and kind of take your journey from there, really. Are you based in the UK, Thowinia, or are you somewhere else? By the way, I'm terrible with names, so I can never pronounce anything properly, so if I'm getting that wrong, please say so. I won't be offended. I'll be more upset that I've called you by the incorrect name. So we're just gathering these up now. Like I say, they're a bit more fiddly, the little ones. We get there in the end. Norway. Is quilting big in Norway, do you know? Is that... I know we order a lot of fabric from Denmark, which is obviously not Norway, but there are fabric distributors in Northern Europe. Random key bashing. I like it. I like it. Well, hexadoodle came from the fact that I used to make lots and lots of hexagons using paper piecing, and I doodle a lot. I sort of make these hexagons up and then just play around with the shapes to see what patterns I can make and what pictures I can recreate in hexes. So that's where hexadoodle came from. But I haven't actually made a hexagon quilt in quite a while now. I've been playing with other techniques. So, hoping to get back to some more hexagon designs this year. Oh, come on. So I should carry on gathering these up. I'm always surprised how quickly these come together, and they look so cute just from circles of fabric. So let's just pull that one tight. This one's being a bit silly. There we go, pull it tight and just take a little anchoring stitch in that fold. Yeah, fat quarters. Fat quarters are a great cut to buy. Again, they're reasonably priced. Unfortunately, quilting fabric, the costs in the last few years have got very, very expensive, and I don't have much fabric here at home now. I did get rid of a load when we moved house, but because I work in a quilt store, I quite often do a lot of sewing for the shop, but I don't have to keep it and I don't have to pay for the fabric, so I still get to sew, but I don't really get to keep anything. So I'm making this one for me. Excuse me. I've had a really annoying cough all winter. It's almost gone. Oh, I'm determined to unthread the needle, get in a knot. Just try and thread this back up. Not easy to do on camera, is it? Just getting to that point where I think I might have to admit I need some glasses. Okay, I'm going to just trim that edge off. Get a nice sharp point on my thread. That's the wrong way around. I really should get a needle threader, but I think the eyes in these needles are just a bit too small. Come on, you. There we go. Right, please do not come off again. Yeah, it's a real shame. My mum used to make a lot of my clothes for me as well, and it isn't cheaper now at all. But I think a lot of it is not so much the fabric costs as the shipping costs. A lot of the quilting fabrics are made and shipped to distributors in America, and then of course we have to pay for them to come over here. Hey Bubbles! I'm guessing you should be at work. Huh? Huh? I'm having fun with a tricky thread today. There we go, that's the little, we've got 4 on there now, 2 to go. So just fold it in half on his lunch break. Well, thank you for keeping me company. How are the sound levels today? I've had real trouble this morning with the audio. I kind of switched my computer on and did a little test, and there was no sound, 0. So, little panic, little mess around. What am I going to do? So hopefully you can hear me. I'm guessing you can, because is the thread also? Yes, the thread is an orange. It's like a sort of peachy colour actually. It's not exactly matching, but because it's strong, I'm using it. We won't see these stitches because we're going to hide everything very shortly with what we call a yo-yo or a Suffolk puff. So I'm doing one daffodil start to finish, so you'll be able to see how that goes, and then I'll probably just do it in series, so I'll do all the yellow petals then all the orange petals, but I wanted to get one made so you can see how it looks when it's finished. There we go, I think we're on to the last one now. So you can make really cute brooches with these, or something for your headband. I was thinking about that, I could put it on a headband. Not that I'm a headband wearing kind of person, but oh yeah, I do have some music on in the background because otherwise I go a bit insane just listening to myself talk. But I didn't want it too loud because I thought if it's too loud you won't be able to hear me. But it's just a Twitch playlist on Spotify. Just keeps me company. So there we go, we've got 6 petals now in the orange. So just like the yellow ones where we joined them into a ring, I'm going to do exactly the same now with these orange ones. So these are a bit more fiddly, they're a bit smaller. I'm just putting these together and taking a few stitches through them. And I'm not worried about it being too neat because we won't see it. That. There we go. So we can kind of distribute those now, the gathers. And everyone's going to be slightly different. Okay. So again, I'm just going to place this orange one now inside the yellow one. And you can play around with placement, but that's kind of where we're headed. And then literally I've still got my thread attached to the orange ring. I'm just going to take a few stitches through the orange petals and into the yellow ones. And again, I don't worry about seeing any of this stitching because it's all hidden, and this is obviously the back, so we won't see this either. You can see me just coming through there. So I'll just take a few stitches to secure those rings together. He wants to get stuck on the petals today. So that's that one. Let's go over to the next petal. Take a stitch. So it's been a while since I've made any of these. But they are kind of cheerful, you know. Just caught them there. You can see that's where we're at the moment. I realised I've travelled between petals on the top there. I really should have done that on the back. But we'll see how we get on. Try not to stab myself in the thumb. Just pushing that through to the back now. Let's see. So that's kind of everything. You can kind of play around with these for a while to see how they look, but there's our little daffodilly. What I need to do now is just cover the centre with something. I could use just a button, that's quite cute. I could use beads, but I'm going to do a Suffolk puff this morning, so I'm just going to take another piece of orange fabric. It's another 2-inch circle. I'm just going to sew a gathering stitch around the outside and draw that up. So I leave that attached to that needle for the time being. And I've got here, this is called a yo-yo maker. Oh, Elias Grace, do you know, I loved that series, that was so cool. And I've never made a log cabin quilt, which was the type of quilt she was making. I'd never made one, so I might do one of those as well. So this is it's called a yo-yo maker. It's made by Clover, and it's a way of making gathered circles really, really easily, and it gives me something to hold on to. It's not too fiddly. So I'm just going to position the fabrics and clip them in. And the way this works is I now put a stitch through these markings here, and when I pop the inside out again I can just pull that up and it will gather, and it'll all be perfect and even. Just saves me thinking about it. So again, I want to use a strong thread. I'm using the peachy orange thread for this. Let's see, grab another needle. Yeah, I really enjoyed Elias Grace. Kind of hoping there'll be a second series, but I think they have finished it where they finished it, but you never know. So again, just a knot in the end of the thread for these yo-yo makers, because I don't want to pull it all the way through. And I'm just going to fold the seam allowance down and stitch so that it comes out that little hole there, and then you go back in to the next one. See that? So you take a stitch there, and then moving around from the back so I come out the front. I love these yo-yo makers. I think they come in a variety of sizes. I've got all the sizes, and there's a couple of different shapes as well. And I've got some different shaped ones. Yeah, the random ending, I didn't like it, so I was hoping it might come back for a second. Maybe they just... I don't know. I'm trying to think what else I've watched recently that had a bit of a random end on it, and I was like, what? Just left me hanging on. So I binged Elias Grace on Netflix. I think I pretty much watched it end to end in a week. That's what I normally do. Instead of streaming, I just have Netflix on in the background. I'm working through... I've gone through most murder, crime series. That's what I tend to like watching. Which is probably not healthy, but I do like a good murder. So there we go. I'm just going all the way around here until I get to where I started, which was this bit here. And then you just pop the inside bit back out now. And you can see the gathering stitches that are running around the outside. And then we just loosen them off a bit and pull this little blue insert back out. So they come in different sizes and they're different colours for the different sizes. Oh, I love Hinterland. Bit of a soft spot for the main character, I have to be honest. Sorry, hubby's on lunch break watching. Love you. But yes, Shetland was good as well, actually. That was another one that surprised me. Who knew that such an island could be so interesting? So there we go, we're just gathering that up now, if you can see. By pulling that stitch, it's just gathering the fabrics. What I'm trying to do is to make it look nice now. You can fiddle with this for ages. But I want it basically so it's big enough to sit in the centre of there, and then I can stitch that down. I don't know if I've seen the third series. I think I've only seen the first two. Oh, you're going to make me have a look now on BBC and see if I've missed one. I tend to catch these things up on Netflix, you see, when they're released. So that's that done there. I think I'm happy with that. I'm not happy that I travelled over the top, because I'm probably going to see those stitches, but I can probably add some beads or buttons or something later. And so that is my little daffodilly all finished. And like I say, I can stitch that down onto my little mini quilt, or I could put a brooch back on it. There's one here. If I bring it under the camera, I just put a little brooch bar and covered the hole at the back with a piece of felt, so you can just kind of get a piece of felt and cover it up. and that's that. Or the other option is to stick it on a bamboo skewer and make a little bunch of flowers that you can pop in a little vase or something. So yeah, that's number 1 done. I've got 6 to make altogether. So I'm just going to carry on. Oh, this little yo-yo wants to roll away at the moment. So I'm just going to knot this off by taking a tiny stitch through the centre. It's going to be hard to see this. Through the centre, and I'm going to come straight out the back here and just knot it off. There we go. And that will stop it from unravelling. So you can fiddle with these for ages trying to get it looking perfect, and then you realise it's nature, it isn't perfect, it doesn't have to be perfect. But I'll hand stitch that down a bit later on when I've got a better behaving thread. Let's get on to the next one now. Trim that thread there. So I say, I've just been through all my scraps and cut out lots of different circles. This one's a bit brighter than the last one. I haven't watched Vera yet. That's the northeast of England, isn't it? No, I've not watched that one yet. I'll tell you what I really enjoyed, I don't know if you've seen it, is Happy Valley. That was one that I didn't expect to like, because the actress in that has been in sort of soap operas and things, and I'm not a big follower of soap operas, but thoroughly enjoyed Happy Valley, both of those. Kind of hoping they would bring that one back for a third. So I'm using the yellow thread again now, Thor, just because it kind of matches and hopefully it won't be too obvious. Just get myself, oh. The problem with this thread is it's really wiry, so it all curls back up, look, and getting a little bit of a knot. There we go. Oh, during exam period. Probably not the best thing to do, huh? I think I quilted through most of my exam period, and that might explain why I didn't finish my final year. Not saying anything. So again, I've just folded them into quarters and repeat the process. Yeah, English series are definitely shorter than the US ones. Some of those just drag on and on. I've just started watching Scandal. Somebody recommended Scandal to me, and I'm trying, I'm persevering, but it's, yeah, a bit too formulaic for me. I quite enjoyed the American version of The Killing, completely different to the original, but I did quite enjoy that. That was good. There we go, that's the first one done. I'm just going to pull it tight and hold that, and then take another stitch to stop it unravelling, hopefully. Elementary. No, I've not watched that one. 24 episodes in a series. Wow. Is the same storyline running throughout them all, or are they standalone episodes? I think I'd lose track after 24. Oh dear me. Oh, that's alright, I don't have to keep a thread going for 24. I'll add that to my list of binge watching then. Like I say, I've started streaming just to try and break up the Netflix. US version of Sherlock. Oh, okay. Just a little less good. Well, unless Benedict Cumberbatch is in it, it's bound to be a bit less good. I love his voice. I heard a reading of him reading the Jabberwocky. Oh, absolutely glorious voice that man's got. Okay, so I'm just securing that petal so it won't unravel. I'll put the next one on. I say I've die cut my circles, but it don't have to be perfectly die cut. You can just trace around household objects to get a circle that's roughly 3 inches. The lids off Pringle cans are a good alternative. I use those a lot. I've got quite a few in my templates box. I have a collection of circular things, lids and jars that I think will be useful. So I use circles quite a bit in my sewing. So we're just running a gathering stitch. No, I haven't watched that, and then there was none, and then there were none. No. You're going to make me stop and write these down in a minute, you know that. So hopefully it's recording the stream and then I can watch it back and get these names back. Only 3 episodes. So good. Right. I do like ones that leave you thinking, that was awesome. Been a while since I've had that. Although Black Mirror, I don't know if you're a Black Mirror follower. Have just done the last one of those, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. Scary. A little too close to truth sometimes, but yes, I did enjoy those. 3. Number 4, please. There we go. Just murders. See, I don't do horror. I can't do scary horror. I was saying to my husband, every time I've watched Twitch recently, I keep getting this advert for the movie Insidious. It just gives me, oh no, thank you. I don't mind murder. I don't mind gruesome. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the actual murder happen, but I'm quite happy to see it being investigated. I always wanted to be a pathologist when I was a kid, and I don't think I could ever actually have cut anything open. There we go, that's another one done. We'll just gather that up now. Yeah, somebody suggested I watch Grimm, which is kind of crime, but it's also got a touch of horror. And I'm struggling a little bit with that because I don't know what it is. Vampires especially just freak me out. I don't know why. I don't know what's happened in my past lives to make me so frightened of them. But yeah, not a fan of vampires. But I found it's a bit predictable, Grimm. It's the same sort of story, just a different type of mythical monster disguising as a human. So what time is it where you are, Thawania? It must be, you can't be too far ahead or behind, are you? So on my stream on Tuesday I was chatting to somebody in Australia, I think, and they were about 10 hours ahead. And then there was somebody else in the States, and I think they were 5 hours behind, so. An hour ahead. Oh, okay. Not too bad then. Just got a knot in my thread, so I just need to, there we go, pop that out. So should you be studying now, or are you at work? So they soon work up, get through them quite quickly. Tell me the future. Awesome. Is it going to rain later? Again. Oh, it's the UK, it always rains. Oh, well done, handing it in. So how long is your course? Are you nearly finished, or just starting it out? What course are you doing? Been snowing here for days. Oh, I don't mind snow, but this country cannot cope with snow. The minute we get a snowflake, that's it. Everything just grinds to a halt. I think my only rule with snow here is that I never drive on the first day after it snowed, because all the crazy people come out. Well done you. Hang in there then. What's your master's in? That one off there. Sorry. Gone quiet there. I was trying to think what I had to do next. There we go. That's anchored. So I'm just going to join them back into a ring. Vikings and medieval studies mostly. Celtic stuff though. Oh, my kids would love you. They love all the kind of Norse mythology, Celtic. Yeah, there's a whole style of quilting, Celtic quilting, based around like the lover's knot type imagery. That's quite a fun and easy technique to master. Ow. Gosh, that's tough to push that needle through there. Quite a few layers of fabric we're going through there though. Do you get to travel much then, or is it mostly kind of book learning at the moment? I'm thinking Scotland and things, there's obviously quite a bit of evidence of our invasions. There we go. Oh, it's so pretty, I like it. Just lifts the spirits. Just starting to see the daffodils. I can see them buds coming up through the ground, and I'm getting excited because once we've got daffodils, it's going to would look weird with fewer or more petals. I think I've got some somewhere I made with 5. Bear with, I'll see if I can find them. There's a much bigger one. This is using a 5-inch circle. Look, that's only got 5 petals. I don't think it looks weird. I keep telling myself that nature's not perfect. So you could do more. I think the problem with more is it just gets harder and harder to gather them up. And I just settled with 6 because 6 seemed to be pleasing. Got one here. Actually, if I'm going to try and drag my mini, sorry, I'm looking down at the little mini quilt that I made before, and that one's got 5 in the centre. See if I can get this one in the shot. So we've got 6 in the outer ring, but I've just got 5 there in the centre, and it looks okay. It's a bit washed out, I'm afraid, because it's quite pale yellow and orange. But, yeah, I think it's one of those things, just play with, experiment, get something that you like, because that's all I ever do. This is all for me. If I like it, I like it. Oh, see you later, Bobbles. Have a good afternoon. Okay, so just back to the orange peach coloured thread now. Oh, that's cool, getting to travel Ireland. I lived in Northern Ireland for a number of years. My dad was in the forces, so we were stationed in Northern Ireland for a little while, but I never got to visit the south, unfortunately. But, so what will you do with your masters? Is it something you want to take further? Do you want to teach or write books? I don't know. Do I make for other people? I don't make for money. I do make gifts for people, those that are worthy anyway. It's hard. Quilting takes a lot of time and energy, and as we were saying, it's expensive. So I don't tend to make them for money because you never fully get the cost back, and I don't think people appreciate just how much energy you put into something. I think they think, because I do this during the day, it looks like I make quilts in no time at all, but I don't. I'm here 5-6 hours a day for a week. That's 30 hours. That's not cheap. If I was working in a job, I'd get paid and I'd earn a decent amount of money doing it. So I don't make for money as such, but I make for gifts. And like I say, my plan is to start writing patterns for this sort of thing, and perhaps I can sell the patterns and make a bit of money that way to fund my fabric habit. Dublin, there's a city I'd like to go to. Yeah, it's difficult, but again, as we were saying, it used to be cheap to make your own things. It really isn't these days. Even with knitting, I mean, knitting I used to think was a cheap hobby until you need to buy 8 balls of something to make a jumper, and you think, this is an expensive jumper. But, I don't really knit. I do crochet. I don't know why, knitting is never fast enough for me. I just get bored. But, sometimes I do have a little crochet thing on the side. So if I'm not sewing in the evening, I will sit and crochet. I can't have idle thumbs. I need to be doing something with my hands. So do you stream at all? Oh, 17 balls, yeah. Hopefully your sister will realise just how much you love her, because I'm guessing there's many hours going into that as well. I always tell people, if you get a quilt from me, you know I love you. And you're worthy. Come on you, there we go, we're getting there. Oh, bobbin lace, wow. I had a lady I used to work with, she made bobbin lace. It looked incredibly difficult. And there's me thinking knitting doesn't move quickly enough. I bet it takes ages to make a little piece, does it? Yay, we've got 3. I was thinking to make cute little ears on a little toy as well. So little ears popping out. I don't make toys, I'm not. Yeah, it's funny, I didn't think anyone would watch me, to be honest, though. It's, I think I do this more just to make myself do something else. I thought it would be nice if I can connect with people and keep me company, because otherwise I don't see anyone all day. I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be surprised. I it was somebody on Instagram the other day, they were doing cross stitch embroidery. But, so I don't see why people wouldn't want to see it. Especially if they can come back each stream and see, you know, the work building and growing. I think that would be quite cool. It's no different to this really. This, I would think this is boring, but 2 hours on a bookmark, wow. Oh gosh, actually putting the threads on the bobbins takes a long time then. I'm always fascinated how many bobbins there are. I just remember this cushion with all these sort of strings, threads coming off, and all these different wooden bobbins. Some of them are beautiful though, they're so decorative. Yeah, I thought about YouTube. I did, the first stream I did, I uploaded to YouTube, and then I got a slap on the wrist for playing music in the background. So, I haven't done anything with these videos, but I did wonder if I could, oh, get my brain in gear. If I could edit them and just do like clips, shorter clips showing people something. Oh, what's that? Deleted link. Or does that mean links aren't allowed? Bear with, because that's not something I've looked at. Does it say? Oh, I can't even see how to allow that. Bear with me, Car. No, that's not. Okay, I don't know how to let you post a link right now. Or was it an image you were trying to show me, Car? Oh God. In the chat. Okay. Let's see, what's the worst? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna reach my keyboard now, it's miles away. Permit, let's have a look. Can I see what, there we go, sorry about that. How's that? Oh, my own cat is waving at me. Oh. Right, that's something I'll look into. I've just figured out cameras. I haven't worked out chat. No! Oh, I didn't let it through. Right then. If you don't mind looking at my Gorma's face, I can have a look. Maybe it's on my Twitch settings somewhere. On the dashboard, is it? Let's have a gander. Moderation. Of course, you can all see me. I can't see you. Nothing in there. No, I don't want to look at my channel. Oh God. No, I can't figure it out. I can't figure out where to go. You have to do hashtag. Right. Okay. Let's try that. My keyboard's balancing on the windowsill. I'm like, oh, I'm going to drop it any minute. Let's see, is that going to do it? We'll figure this out. The bot should tell me if oh, I don't know about bots. I don't know much about anything. Maybe without the at. Right then, we'll try it without the at. Do you know what? I'm just going to drag this keyboard over a minute. Oh, try not to knock my drink over or anything else. Shall I type in the in the chat window? Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was just like, if you built it up too much now, is that what they I'm like that telling jokes. I cannot tell a joke. Right. It's just not going to let through, is it? Oh, is it? I don't know. Is that? Can you like direct message it to me or something? I don't know. Right, 5. I've only got 5 petals. Oh, I'm getting confused. I'm going to figure that out for the next stream. How do I allow links in my chat? You'd think there would just be a checkbox somewhere to say yes or no. And there probably is. I just, I have no idea how to figure it out. I can't see anything on the app. Haha, Instagram, right, that I can definitely do. Let's see, whoa, giant screen. Oh wow! I love your bobbins. Lovely. Let's do a like on that for you. Right, I'm going to leave that in the background. Awesome job, well done, I like that. Yeah, I got the message, it's good. I've liked it on Instagram for you. I keep saying that to my husband, he just scrolls past my posts. I'm like, no, you have to like them. You have to engage. He's like, I like everything you make. I'm like, I know, you just have to tell Facebook that you do. They can't guess. Nearly finished this ring. Hooray. Keep stabbing myself in the finger today. It's looking a bit rough. As long as I don't bleed on the fabric, it's okay. Oh, try to make one I haven't done before on stream. Oh no. Well, funny enough, when I started this stream this morning, and I kept dropping frames. It was horrendous. And then I realised that my husband's computer was still on and probably downloading something, so I had to stop the stream after 5 minutes and switch his computer off. And I was like, oh no. I wouldn't delete it. Just export it for yourself first and learn from it. It's all. Like I say, this is so new. I got my first raid the other day, except I popped to put the kettle on. So I put a placeholder up that just said, gone for tea! So all these people raided my stream and I wasn't here. And I was mortified. Absolutely mortified. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. If you remake something that you're comfortable making, then you can worry about all the other stuff like how to let people send links in chat. Yeah, do something that you're comfortable with and then make it more difficult. I think I was watching, oh god, who was I watching? I think it was Mini Burger. Was doing crochet type, no, knitting. She was knitting cables, I think. And I think she completely messed it up. But you know what, you just keep going, don't you? Just roll with it. I think my students like it. If I'm teaching a class and I cock it up in class, they love that because then I can show them how to fix it. It's not a... because it will happen. Everybody makes a mistake. So sometimes it's nice to be able to show them how to fix a mistake. Oh no! I haven't figured out the bots, so that's something I need to look at, but... oh no, no! It's not just me then. It's not just me that messed up a raid, that's fine. I bet all the big guys have all, when they're starting out, had the same issues that we're having. Just everyone thinks they're great now because they didn't see that. Oh, I've just put the thread through completely wrong. I'm not even on camera, am I? Sorry. Da-da. Come on. It's so grey here that I've had to put loads of lights on, but I can't have too many lights on because then it makes everything shiny and reflective, so I'm struggling to even see the eye now. Come here, you. I can't thread it. Come on, you. Can't even find my scissors now either. Well, they never do this on YouTube, do they? Oh, God. I'm sure I've got a needle threader somewhere. Not that I'm going to be able to find it now, am I? Hey. Go on then. I got this funky needle threader the other day. Let's see if we can get the blinking thing to work. So I think, let's see, drop your needle in there. Ow. Is that right? Oh no, here we go, here we go. Pop that in there. Lay that there. Rubbish. Rubbish. I'm guessing it's going to be the thread or the needle. Thread being too big or needle too small. I only bought this because it looks like a lipstick. Thought that was quite cool. Oh, oh, did we get it? I think we just mashed the thread actually, but yay! So yeah, I thought that was quite cool. Looks like a lipstick when it's done. And there's a magnet on the bottom as well, so I can pick it up. But I probably won't use that again. Because it wasn't that great. Right then, where are we going? We're going to stitch this on here. Where did that go through? There, okay. Let's try and get another one here. All feels a bit fiddly because they get so bunched up, but once they're stitched together I can pull them around a bit and do something with them. So I normally do hand quilting as well. That's another thing I've been thinking about streaming. I did a few streams with hand quilting and it worked okay. It's just trying to get the camera in a good position so people can see what my hands are doing without obstructing the camera. Maybe I should just take up video gaming. Do you play many games, Thar, or is that not your thing at all? Are you even still there? Stitch through that. Come on, you. Nearly run out of thread. Do you know, I use my mobile phone case as a needle minder as well. Yeah, the magnet on the flap is really strong. Although I managed to drop a huge needle down the sofa, but all underneath the sofa is sealed, so I couldn't get it in, and I was like, dang it. I had to raid the toolbox and get one of those like long wands with a magnet on the end, and it worked, it picked it up. What's a bit of a strange looking daffodil now, but we'll see, perhaps when I stitch it down I'll be able to do some more with that. Oh, okay. I've not played League of Legends. I don't play many games, but I am definitely more of a PC gamer than an Xbox gamer. My kids are trying to change that, but I tried to play Minecraft with them the other day. Oh, God. I just felt seasick. I'm just revisiting some of my favourites from when I was younger. So I'm playing Masters of Olympus by Sierra on Steam. That's a good one. I like games with a purpose. I need to build a city, or Age of Empires. I can do that. I can build a town, a city, and mass an army, and then just go and stomp on you. That's cool. I'll check out League of Legends. Okay, so that's that one. That's a little bit not great. We'll see. I might be able to do something with it. How am I doing for time? Because I'm going to have to head off soon. Got to pick up children from school and stuff. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm probably going to stream for about another 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to have to grab some lunch, pick up kids. You got anything planned for this afternoon, or are you just going to relax now you've handed in your assignment? Yeah, you see, the motion sickness it's absolutely true. My kids are kind of go, look at this, and I'm like, whoa, 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 just slow down, because I feel like I'm going to go, oh. But then I felt sick controlling my own camera, trying to see where I was supposed to be looking. I couldn't figure it out. I will try again. My husband works for a games company. They're making a video game at the minute for Xbox, and he's dying for me to come and play this blinking game. But it's a pirate game, so I'm on the sea. So not only am I going to feel seasick because the boat's going to be doing this, but I have to move the camera as well. And I think, oh, who knows? But I will try and play, because they all play together and I feel like I'm the one on the outside not playing. Yeah, keep practicing. That's all. I mean, this is all these streams are. Nobody ever watches. I'm amazed there's somebody here today. It's lovely to have someone to keep me company. Guide me through the different things I need to learn. But yeah, keep on keeping on. If nothing else, it's made me make these daffodils. I would say I tidied my room, but behind me is an absolute mess because you can't see it. So I've just took everything that was in shot and threw it on the floor. It never looks like this in here, really. I'll make sure I'm following you, Thara. I'll get a notification. I'll come and chat to you if nothing else. Okay. There we go, we're getting there. In fact, let's look you up now, make sure I've got you. There you go. Oh, have I got notifications? Did it work? Hello? I have to say, the app on the iPad is rubbish. I'll do it through the main page. Yeah, just shove everything out of camera view. I made myself a little jig for filming the close-up work. So my desk is actually just a mess. There's stuff everywhere, but all you can see is obviously this little area here. So I was quite proud of myself for that. There we go, we've got another one. All these threads coming off. I hate mess. There we go. Is that better? Can you see? Less thread, more sewing. Yeah, perhaps I'll put a different photo. Instead of a picture of the quilt, I'll just put a picture of what's really going on in my room. Because it's carnage. It's carnage in here. I think I still have to get over the idea that this is real. It's rough and ready, isn't it? It's not meant to be professional or polished. That's what YouTube's for. Get one more stitch in there. Yeah, there we go. This is good. I've nearly got the 3 big ones done, and I just need to make 3 little ones. To make the whole quilt, I'm not sure. I made the backing piece last night, so that probably took me 2 hours last night just to cut and sew everything together. But it's quite straightforward. This is just a 12.5-inch square of fabric, and then I've stuck a bit of green fabric on there. So that was probably about 2 hours to do that. Admittedly, I'm slower sewing when I'm talking because I have to try and think of 2 things. But I reckon you could do that in a weekend. I could make that in a weekend. And that wouldn't be full time, that would just be grabbing a few hours here and there. So probably 8 hours. But that would be completely finished. Which is why sometimes you just want to make a brooch, because that's only going to take you an hour. So I keep thinking about wearing it in my hair. Do I make like a little hair clip or something? That could be quite cute. I'm not a hair clip wearing person though. I can't even manage mascara, so hair clips and things are not going to be me. Put the heating on before I started streaming because I felt cold, and now I am roasting in this little room. My desk is right up against the radiator as well. Won't do that for the next stream. Oh dear. There we go, come on. Oh, it feels like about 24 in here right now because I know that's what the thermostat's set to. But my window is behind my screen, it's over there and I can't reach. Oh, I've just unthreaded that again, come on, there we go. Whew. We made it. Problem is my room's on the ground floor next to a really busy main road, so if I open the window you're just going to hear all the vans and trucks going by as well. I really need to figure out sound. I don't particularly want to wear a headset though, because I'm self-conscious as it is. Wearing a great big headset and microphone is going to make it worse. And I'd rather spend my money on fabric. But I suppose if I had a headset I could open the window because it wouldn't pick up the... Are they not? No, these ones aren't. No, these are, I don't know if you can see, the fabric's got like a stripe running through it, so depending on how I fold the petal we're getting different colours coming out. So this one might not make it into the quilt if it looks silly. Decorate the headset with daffodils. Yeah, I could do that. Try and hide the fact it's a headset. That would be quite cool. Watch this space. What colour do you think? Let's do that one. Oh, I'm wilting, too hot. Just want to finish this ring so I don't leave it lying around and lose one of the circles. There we go. Let's just make sure I put a knot in that one. Oh. I managed to hook that around the other petals. Not good. Out we come. Is that it? Yeah. So now it's ungathered itself. There we go. Recovered it, recovered it. It's quite a nice effect actually, just looking at it on the screen it looks quite good, but whether it will actually look any good in real life, I don't know. So I'm planning to finish this at some point over the weekend and then stream again on Tuesday. I'm just trying to not commit to too much at the moment while I'm getting the hang of this streaming. So I'll be back on Tuesday around this time. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing yet. Might just be hand quilting. Yeah, it will be quite different. These fabrics are all hand dyed as well, so they're not the same colour throughout because they're batiks. They're hand dyed, so they all vary slightly, but this has that obvious stripe in it, so I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. We'll see. Last stitch. Come on. But yeah, if I finish it at the weekend, I'll make sure I've got the finished one to show you on Tuesday. I've got another quilt that I was working on earlier in the week that I had to get finished for yesterday because my boss is taking the shop to a quilt show. And yeah, so I had to get that quilt finished in a hurry, but I said I'd bring it back from the shop and show everybody on Tuesday what I was done. I don't hand dye the fabrics. We buy batiks in from Bali in Indonesia, and they're all hand dyed out there and hand printed with wax, and then they're over dyed again, and the wax is then washed away to leave the patterns. I do fancy having a go at dyeing at home, it looks really fun. So there we go, that's that one there. What do we think? It does look quite different, doesn't it, with the stripe that runs through. It's that one. We'll see. We'll keep playing with those later and see. But yeah, I think that's me. I am melting in here. I need to go and turn my heating off. But But I really appreciate your company, Thorny, I really do, because sometimes it feels like you're just talking to nobody out in the wilderness, sewing away, which is what I do anyway. I've just got a camera on me now. But no, I really appreciate your company, and yeah, do tune in again. I'll keep my eyes posted for your stream, alright? And we'll get the hang of this together, I'm sure we will. Okay, so take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!